perimeter of regular shapes. We need to know what perimeter really means. And perimeter means the distance around something. For example, a fence goes around your yard. We typically measure how much fencing we need to purchase in linear feet, and we use perimeter to determine that. The same thing applies to the baseboard, that piece of wood at the bottom of the wall in your house. It also requires you to know the perimeter in order to determine how much baseboard to purchase. Let's start off with the perimeter of a rectangle. In order to find the perimeter of a rectangle, you add up all the side lengths. So if you look, you've got a length, a width, another length, and another width. So the perimeter is equal to length plus width plus width. And if we combine the like terms, we have 2 lengths and 2 widths. If we rewrite it with the 2 factored out, we can write it as 2 times length plus width. Because if we think about it another way, it's really, length plus width, and we add the length plus width again. But when we add the same thing twice, we know that the shortcut to adding the same thing twice is multiplication, so we can do 2 times length plus width. So you'll see perimeter of a rectangle written 3 different ways. Now, if I want to clean that up a bit for a square, I know that the length and width of a square are the same. So the equation becomes 2 times length plus length, which is 2 multiplied by length plus length because, 2 multiplied by 2L, because when I add the lengths together, I'm adding the coefficients of the length, which is a 1, and I get 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. If we're looking for the circumference of a circle, however, that formula won't work. We can't add up the side lengths, so we need a different formula. Okay, the distance around a circle, or the perimeter of a circle, has a special name called circumference, and the formula is equal to C equals 2 pi r. Now, the diameter is double the radius, because the diameter crosses all the way across the circle now. So we've got radius that goes halfway, and we have diameter that goes the whole way. So since the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, in the equation here, we've got a 2 and we've got an r, we can substitute in a d instead, and the circumference is pi times diameter. And we already said for the perimeter of any shape, we're going to add up all the outside side lengths. So to determine the perimeter of the following shapes, correct to the nearest hundredth of a centimeter where necessary. Have a look at this one. This one's pretty straightforward. If we add up all the side lengths, we have a 4 centimeter side length, a 5 centimeter side length, and a 6 centimeter side length. And we don't write the units in the equation where we do P equals 4 plus 5 plus 6, but we do write it in the final answer. So the perimeter of this shape was 50 in centimeters. Now for the next shape, we have 2 formulas for circumference of a circle. We have circumference is pi d, and we have circumference is 2 pi r. Now, when I think about this, what's easiest to do? Well, I know the diameter, so I'm going to use pi d. And we just substitute the 10 in, and I have to use the pi button on my calculator. It's a special button. It looks like a pi. You're going to have to look to find it on your calculator because we want exact measurements. So when we multiply 10 by the pi button, we get 31.415927. And it said to round it to the nearest, I think I said hundredth, but it looks like I've done to the nearest tenth here. So let's just change that. We'll pop back to the question. And the question said to the nearest hundredth. So we'll go back here. We're going to erase this. Now, to the nearest hundredth means I underline the number in my hundredth column, and I look at the number to the right. The number to the right is a 5, which means the number in my hundredth column needs to have 1 added to it. So the answer will in fact be 31.42 millimeters. You'll also notice that I have dots above the equal sign, and that indicates that we have used rounded numbers. So immediately, once we round, we have to put the dot.